foreign and domestic emoluments clauses of the Constitution. They involve the enforcement of congressional subpoenas and a new method for expediting enforcement of subpoenas. They involve a reassertion of congressional power of the purse, strengthening of congressional oversight of presidential emergency declarations.
For WCPT 820 and Heartland Signal, I'm Andy Miles.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
The following program, Collaboraction Radio, is sponsored by Collaboraction, and to the extent applicable, their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of NewsWeb Radio Company or its management.
Welcome to Collaboraction Radio. We are here at the six-corner intersection of art, activism, and social change. Wow. July 29th, 2023. Coming to you live from the WCPT studio up here at 5475 North Milwaukee. Stop on by if you're driving by, or just hang out on the interwebs as we look at what's going around the world these days. There is so much happening, and it's happening at an accelerating rate. Don't you remember about 20 years ago when everybody thought, wow, every time you turn on the news, it's something else? Now it's like every 5 minutes. It was always that way, but now technology has got it in our face and in our brains. And if you think it and you say it, it is. And so are we here at Collaboration Radio. It's just me, Anthony Mosley, today. My partners, Carla Stillwell and Dr. Marcus Robinson, are not able to join us. So I am flying solo. And I will be joined shortly by Akeisha Lee, activist, organizer, and artist who's doing some amazing things. And I can't wait to chat with her and learn from her and just have a one-on-one. Of course, you can call in if you like. The lines are open. 773-763-WCPT. That's 773-763-9278. We got a chill show, so I would love to hear from you. We could talk about anything you want. We can talk about the Cubs, because they're getting real progressive right now. We could talk about biologics found in UFOs and tic-tac, flying spaceships. We could talk about Emmett Till and his 82nd birthday and the new memorials and trial in the Delta. Or we could just talk about you. Or we could talk about my birthday. My 50th birthday is coming up on Thursday, August 3rd. Oh, thank you, Paul. Thank you. Happy birthday to me. Yes. And I'm having a little party. We're going to talk about it. But mostly, first I want to thank you for joining us at Collaboration Radio on WCPT 820 AM, Chicago's progressive talk radio. We're also streaming live on Facebook and on WCPT.com, and we are available on demand as a podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're on YouTube live right now, too, and everywhere else you get your digital stuff. And, so that means as we're talking, we are sketching our moments into the cave. So all you people of the great future, how's it going? How did we do? Did we drop the baton? Or did we hand it off cleanly to you? You know, they say in 200 years, nobody will remember you. Even if you're Michael Jordan. So let's take every moment for what it is, a total gift. I am Anthony Mosley. I'm the artistic director of Collaboraction. I've been so since October of 1999. And Collaboraction is a theater for social change. We make theater and events, gatherings, films, radio shows to bring people together, to connect with each other, to remind us that not only are we connected, we are actually each other. And the sooner we figure that out, the sooner we'll be able to clean up some major inequity and imbalance in our world. And that's what Collaboration's trying to do. And that's what this radio show is all about. And Collaboration Radio is sponsored by the Joseph and Bessie Feinberg Foundation. And donors and members just like you. We have a bunch of members, thank you members, who give monthly contributions of at least $1 and help this work continue as an ethno-diverse Chicago nonprofit arts organization making cool stuff, powerful stuff, transformative stuff to bring Chicagoans together, because the system pushed us apart, y'all. As my wife Sandra Delgado says in La Habana, Madrid, Chicago is a city of neighborhoods. And that sounds good on a tourist brochure, but what that means is you stay in your neighborhood and I will stay in mine. And everything will be fine. Just don't cross that line. Well, we're crossing lines. We're trying to erase the lines. Because as soon as we can get holistic about our city and our people and our future, and that is progressive, the sooner we will turn into the city we were meant to be. We're also sponsored by AV Chicago, Chicago's leading provider of AV production and event management services. AV Chicago is just an amazing company that really supports our work with lighting gear, sound gear, video gear, microphones, stages, trucks, expertise, because they believe in what we're doing and they want to be a part of it. And you can too. So go check out AV Chicago. If you need, if you're producing an event, a wedding, a mitzvah, a graduation, a pharmaceutical conference, or a music festival, they got the light, sound, video, and all the great tech geeks that you need. And believe me, we all need tech geeks, also known as wizards. There are wizards, there are poets, there are dancers, and there are Wookiees. You're one of the four. And if you're more than one of them, well, God bless you. You are a special person. Collaboration is a 26-year-old nonprofit whose mission is to build knowledge, empathy, dialogue, and action around oppression and inequity through live theater, film, and now radio that leverage the power of storytelling and community to cultivate positive social change. And, you know, we have been doing it for 26 years. I can't believe it. You know, we started in a little basement in Cafe Voltaire, right by the Punkin Donuts at Belmont and Ashland in Bowiestown, where the punk rock kids would go to the alley and buy leather boots and then hang out and chew gum. What did people drink before there was energy drinks? I guess they just drank Coca-Cola, Cherry Coke, Slurpees, and we started as this little idea in the basement of Cafe Voltaire, and now 26 years later, we've done a lot of special work, And I just got back from D.C. where we were awarded a Silver Gavel Award honorable mention from the American Bar Association for drama, for the trial in the Delta, the murder of Emmett Till, the piece of play and the video that we adapted, the 400-page legal transcript of the state of Mississippi versus the men who killed Emmett Till, into an 87-page script with G. Riley Mills and Willie Round doing the co-writing. And then we created a video with NBC Chicago. You can watch that on the Peacock or on the YouTube. It is called The Lost Story of Emmett Till, Trial in the Delta. And we won an Emmy Award for that. And then we produced the play as an immersive piece of theater where the audience is sitting in the courtroom, witnessing Mose Wright's testimony, Mamie Till's testimony, Willie Reed's testimony, where they faced death threats and they got up on the witness stand to add their voice to the horrific kidnapping and murder of Emmett Till, whose legacy lives on. So I was in D.C. on Tuesday at the National Press Club where we were awarded, I can't even believe I'm saying this, by the way, where we were awarded the Silver Gavel honorable mention on the 82nd birthday of Emmett Till, and the same day that President Biden announced 3 new national monuments. And I think we are all still writing a multiverse created because of Mamie Till and Emmett Till and what happened and the way Mamie Till responded. So that's Collaboraction. You should definitely check out Trial in the Delta. You can go to our website. You can Google it. There's some videos up. And, yeah, if you want to see it, give us an email, info@collaboraction.org. We got a big event on Thursday, August 3rd, our House of Belonging event. It is my 50th birthday party. It's going to be at the Underground Cocktail Club down there on Illinois Street in River North, Billy Deck's place. There's no cover charge. We are going to ask people to donate to Collaboration. We have magician AJ Sacco will be there. I mean, not only is AJ an amazing magician, he's just kind of cool and funny, and you want to hang out with him. Even when, you know, if he every now and then a magic trick won't go exactly as planned, and you're almost like, wow, he even made that cooler than if it had gone the way it was planned, because he's just that kind of guy. I love AJ, and I'm so excited that he will be there. And then Carla Stillwell, my partner, is going to do a little sit-down comedy, hopefully a little bit at my expense, and say a few words. And Carla is brilliant and hilarious and knows me very well from the 5,000 Zoom hours we have spent together during the pandemic. And then my brother from another mother, the GQ, Javid Music Party, will be DJing. GQ is one of the Q brothers, and he's one of my brothers, too. I love those Q brothers. If you don't know those guys, they're incredible Chicago treasure. GQ, JQ, and TQ. Happy birthday, TQ. TQ also just turned 50. I might have been at a dance party of his recently. But, yeah, I mean, GQ is just going to get people dancing. And, that, you know, it's just the House of Belonging. It is what it is, you know. Everybody belongs. And we are going to have a good time. Nina Danger will be there. She's going to be doing her silhouette paper cutouts. They're amazing. And come on by. We start at 8 o'clock. It's the first day of Lollapalooza. And if you didn't know, I am the MC of Kids-a-Palooza. Paul, did you know this?
No clue. Had no idea.
Yeah. It's, you know, the side hustle always ends up being the thing that blows up. it turns out I'm really good at talking to 5-year-olds on a microphone and with parents around. I also MC Austin Kitty Limits.
Very cool.
Down in Texas, the Austin City Limits. Man, it's a lot of work.
That's such a valuable sort of person to be, though, because as a parent of a young child, you still want to go to these events but not compromise with a babysitter, and you want to, kind of like bring your kid into that sort of environment, but you kind of ease the transition by having something for the kids.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And the Kids-A-Palooza section is amazing. I mean, you can get your hair spiked and painted. You can play the drums. You can make a music video. You can, go to the Collaboraction air-conditioned tent where we have a magic show, a hip-hop workshop, which Pinky Ring is leading. She was here last week. Okay. And then a dance workshop with Haywire, who is an amazing Chicago dancer, featured on the World of Dance, and Dana Anderson, Collaboration company member. So it's a blast. And, for me, it is important because counterculture very much gets fueled and connected through music festivals. Music festivals are a place for people to get off the grid, connect with each other through the power of music, and share our wild ideas about a world where everybody has enough to eat, everybody has clean water, and everybody is given an opportunity to contribute in whatever way they can. And if they can't contribute, we should take care of you. Have you ever heard the one about the cave people? They used to be a bunch of cave people. They had kind of a tribe. And every morning, the cave people that hunted would go out and hunt. And they would get buffalo. And they would bring the buffalo back. And everybody would eat all the buffalo. And everybody would sleep well. And everybody was happy and healthy. And they had a team. And they'd go get the buffalo and eat the buffalo. And then one day, the guy that always caught the most buffalo said, "Why do I have to share all my buffalo equally with all of you? I catch all the buffalo. I should get more buffalo than you." And so he took a bunch of buffalo and he brought it over to his area and he didn't share it. And hunter number 2 said, "Hey, if he's taking his buffalo, I'm going to take my buffalo." And after a while, for the first time, the tribe started to see people who didn't have enough to eat. And they began to get weak and sick and old. When you take more than you need, you become a problem. When something takes more than it needs in the body, we have a name for that. And it's called cancer. Cancer is a fractal of a concept for anything that takes more than it needs. And we have too many of us taking way too much, with others not getting enough. So, come out to the House of Belonging, August 3rd, 8 o'clock, River North. I know you don't like to go to River North because and it's Lollapalooza weekend, but this is going to be like a cool, inclusive, fun spot for everybody. So come on out. And then if you're at Lollapalooza, come by and see us at the Kids-A-Palooza area, which is paradise. It's like come take a nap at about 3:30 any day. And we have a youth program, The Light. They are artist activists, ages 15 to 21. And they all are training as artists and activists and then creating work that inspires new knowledge, empathy, dialogue, and action. Paul, I don't know if you knew this, but that's our methodology. We make work to inspire new knowledge, empathy, dialogue, and action. And And that's it. That's it. So, and that's why we have a crucial conversation after every performance. We have a conversation, which is an audience reflection, which is key. Because you see a great movie, and Keisha Lee just joined me.
Hi, everyone. How's it going?
Hi, Keisha Lee. I'm Anthony Mosley.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. When you watch a great film, read a great book, see a play, and lose yourself in the narrative, your mind starts to mimic that of the protagonist. And you begin to actually lower some of your barriers. And you can learn new things, and you can feel new things. That's the power of storytelling. But if it just ends there and you just walk away, Keisha just joined us. I'm just doing my opening ramble.
Okay.
I'm talking about Collaboraction stuff right now.
Awesome.
It's so great to have you. How are you?
So great to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, very glad I made it in.
Excellent. You got is this the camera for Keisha right here? Mm-hmm. Is it? Both of you on camera. Oh, okay. And you can share us on Facebook Live if you want.
Awesome.
But by talking about what we just experienced, the new knowledge and empathy we have, we actually testify. And we turn thoughts and feelings into something that is real, a sound wave that hits other people's eardrums and becomes ideas and new knowledge and empathy that they take in. And just witnessing other people testify makes it real for you. And that's kind of our formula, and that's what we're doing. And today, we're going to get some new knowledge and empathy from Keisha Lee. I'm so excited. But yeah, The Light is performing Saturday at 4 o'clock at the Kids of Palooza. So if you're in Lollapalooza, come on over there. I'm working most of the day, 11 to 6 both days. Kendrick Lamar, I am just so excited to see Kendrick Lamar. I can't tell you how. I missed a show at the United Center last year and I watched it. I mean, I don't watch concerts I watched the concert. I mean, anybody says, oh, hip-hop is not what it used to be. Don't tell that to Kendrick Lamar. I mean, and the authenticity, and the honesty, and the vulnerability, and the lyricism, and it's just, there's nothing between him and the microphone. It's just unbelievable. And then I'm going to see Peach Pit. I like Peach Pit. My daughter Stella turned me on to Peach Pit. They're a fun little band from Canada. And Noah Khan. I also like Noah Khan. I get Pusha T, I guess. I don't know. But I'm mostly just going to be there for the kids, celebrating my birthday. So, and then The Light performs there, and then our Light do tour the city August 17th, 18th, and 19th. We go Loyola Park to La Follette Park to Hamilton Park, the amazing Hamilton Park in Englewood, where we've been touring since 2013. You know Hamilton Park?
I do. That's amazing.
I love Hamilton Park.
I've heard really good things about The Light. Hope I get to catch them at some point.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Please come out. Please come out. And then our Utopian Ball is November 11th, 11/11. That's our gala. Come and join us there. Become a member. And, go to collaboraction.org to learn more. We're a big inclusive family reunion, and we need all of y'all. So thanks for listening. Today's guest is Keisha Lee, performer and organizer, currently based in Chicago. She's committed to organizing people directly impacted by systemic divestment and working alongside them to demand creative and sustainable solutions. I mean, Keisha is an activist, organizer, artist, and has a master's in public health.
Yeah, it's true. Multi-hyphenate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Because that's where it is. You got to be on the on the borders between art and public health is where it's at.
I totally agree. Like, blending those worlds together has been a passion of mine for a long time.
You also organize with Southsiders, Organized for Unity and Liberation. Mm-hmm. And early in this summer, you merged your passions for community organizing and theater through starring in Perception Theater Company's production of Panther Women, an Army for Liberation. WCPT Collaboraction Radio welcomes Keisha Lee to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for that great introduction.
It's so great to meet you.
You as well.
Zachary clearly loves you much.
Yeah, Zach is great.
And Zachary is our associate producer, and we are so happy to have them on our team and introducing us to amazing people. What's your story?
Where would you like me to start?
You know, I have a theory that when you tell your story, every time you tell it, it's a new creative act. But you're actually adding on to an act that you already started. So the telling of your story is the longest durational piece of art that you have.
Totally.
And the last time you tell your story before you pass will be the longest. That will be your life's work in a piece of art.
Wow. That's profound.
So when I always say, okay, how much time do I have? Who's here? Where do I start? Because the start is important. We have as much time. Well, I mean, we have a half hour till the show's over. So I'll let you decide.
Gosh.
I want us and our viewers to know you. I want us to understand your origin story.
Yeah.
And how you became such an amazing person that you are now making change in Chicago on the South Side and throughout the city.
Totally. So I'm from Chicago. Well, that's what I say. I'm not in Chicago. I'm from the suburbs, right? Like many folks like to say. From Lansing, Illinois. Grew up there. And I guess I really got my start in theater and organizing and blending the two when I went to graduate school over in Missouri at St. Louis University. There, I got the opportunity to do like my first ever show with a group called, what are they even called? Identity Theater. And we did For Colored Girls. And that really opened my eyes to the power of storytelling and why it's important for stories to like give us these windows and mirrors into who our identity are. And at the same time that was happening, it was also the uprising was starting to begin in 2020, right? People may call that rioting, but I always call it the uprising for Black lives. And there, I thought I would be more into like an activism role. And I saw myself at that time as more of an empathizer, not directly impacted by incarceration. But the more that I examined my story and the more that I interacted with the community, I recognized how much these two worlds were intersecting. And upon graduation from St. Louis, I started to wonder what I could do with my skills if I expanded my mind from just public health being in a hospital setting or in an institutional not-for-profit. And I landed over at Soul, which is Southsiders Organized Treating Liberation. And at Soul, I've really been able to like spread my wings as a person and as an organizer. Over at Soul, I mostly work on decarceration work. If the viewers don't know, like the listeners don't know, decarceration is asking ourselves, how do we get less folks being incarcerated and more people home in their communities, engaging with their children, working jobs, etc. And that's a passion of mine because I truly believe that we're all safer, more whole when our communities are as solid as possible. I feel like that starts at the bottom. And I think right now the bottom is those who are incarcerated.
Wow. And so what kind of work are you doing with the incarcerated right now?
So I do a little bit of a few things. So I guess most directly, I do jail support. Jail support started back in 2020, mostly of organizers trying to be there for the people that got locked up while they were protesting. And it's really expanded out to be an every day of the week type of thing. So I go once a week and we hand out cigarettes, hand out clothes, and try to fill the gap of all the ways people are pushed back out into the community without what they need. People oftentimes get out of Cook County Jail without coats in the wintertime, without anything they need. So I'm out there giving out coats, giving out cigarettes. And then I also do advocacy work, which is lobbying, public education, things like that.
You know, all this talk about UFOs and the congressional exploration, you know, I can't help, we grow up in this world. I can't help but to think what the aliens would think as they're watching us.
Yeah.
In the way that we have built these asinine systems that separate people, put them in a bucket, and then oppress and divest in them. And, you know, it's a 5-year-old would know the things that we are doing are wrong.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And we become numb to it and just go about our business. And every now and then, somebody might have a big breakout. Even myself, who have committed myself since 2012 to use my power, privilege, and influence, my white maleness and whatever comes with it, to not be complicit in these systems and to create real change. It's still I still have to wake myself up all day long to not slide back into being a consumer.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And I've had some special relationships who have really taught me about restorative justice. And my dear friend Sammy Rangel is an incredible example of the possibility for forgiveness and transformation.
Yeah.
If you don't know, and everybody, if you don't know Sammy Rangel, watch his TED Talk from Budapest. He's incredible. He's a Collaboraction board member. He was tortured and abused by his uncle and his mother. He ran away from home at 12. He became a Latin maniac disciple. He treated other people like his mother treated him, violently, and he ended up in the Supermax prison in Wisconsin in the hole. And from there he turned his whole life around. Got out, got his GED, got his master's, created a group called Formers Anonymous that helps people addicted to street life before they get out so they don't go back in.
Yeah.
He became the executive director of Life After Hate, which is the foremost group to help people, extremists, walk away from the addicted social circles that they are in. And he's just one of the most beautiful, special, insightful humans, and his story is incredible. And so I've become very, very close with him. And I actually went back to Joliet with him to the prison. He turned 18 in Joliet prison.
Oh, Jesus.
And we
so
went,
young.
Yeah. And we went back to his cell. And we can learn through the stories of other people.
Totally.
What can we learn from your story?
Oh, wow. Okay. I think for me, what I've learned and hope other people learn is that we're all impacted by incarceration. I feel like a lot of times within the movement, we try to put those who have experienced incarceration directly in the front and in the center, because it does matter. It does matter who's informing policy, who's creating change. But I think it also matters that we understand the ways that incarceration and acceptance of incarceration is constantly pushed into our lives, right? And I think about all the ways that practices of prisons and jails seep into the way that, like, girls and Black girls in particular are taught in school, how we're policed on the street. Like, even that is an off branch of incarceration. So if you think to yourself and say, that's not me, that's not my community, it is. And even outside of the ways that, like, racism plays into incarceration, I've learned that every dollar that goes into the jail and into the prison is a dollar not going to the community, right? A dollar not going to mental health, not going to job, not going to housing, not going to childcare. And that does impact all of us.
Not only do we lose the opportunity cost of the incarcerated human who could be contributing, we actually pay money for millions of people, most of them not violent. And the ones that are violent, most of them have serious mental illness. I mean, and that's the thing, I do think since the pandemic, I've just become so much more aware of the shades of gray of mental illness.
Yeah.
And how 10 years ago, you would just be like, oh, that person's, whatever. No, that person is suffering. That person has a broken leg with no cast, and they're running around with it. And there are some gifts that the pandemic has given us. Yeah. I've gotten more in touch with nature, for sure, since the pandemic. and I've become more conscious about my mental health and everybody's mental health.
Yeah.
You know, and if you look, people don't just wake up and go, I want to go hurt somebody today.
Yeah, totally.
People wake up and go, I want to win. I want to take it to the next level. Nobody wants to fail. And that's amazing that you're doing that work. And,
Thank you.
And I feel like the consciousness is rising.
I agree. I feel like we are in a moment where people are demanding something more and seeing the through lines of of our issues, right? Like, I think prison abolition was kind of approached separately than like housing, approached separately than job justice. But now we're seeing how all these things are connected. I think people are demanding that we're not forced to keep engaging with the system that only wants to harm us. So I'm excited to see what people will come together to change. Mm-hmm.
Now, do I have this right? You're a dancer as well?
Yes. Oh, how exciting. Yes, I am a dancer. I dance with Queer Dance Freakout, which is a production underneath Gender Fucked Productions company. Mm-hmm. And creations over at Indie Media Studios up the street.
So what kind of stuff do you do?
Yeah, so with Queer Dance Freakout, it's really creating a space for trans and non-binary artists to tell their story and to push what gender means in dance. People are not being forced to fit into like male dancers, female dancers, and tell queer stories. And then over Creations, which is run by Latin Americans, we talk about like blending together jazz, hip hop, traditional Latin dance, and heels dancing, which is a blend of jazz, hip hop, and I think contemporary dance. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know Darlene Shear?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Do we need to meet? Set it up.
You need to meet.
Yes.
You need to meet. I have a video. Oh, I have a video that we made with Darling over the pandemic. Darling is just an amazing spirit, dancer, choreographer, and Darling performed at our last House of Belonging event. And what do you do on August 3rd?
I guess performing at whatever this is, or attending this event.
Yeah, my birthday party.
Oh.
My 50th birthday party.
Not 50. You look so young. Your energy is so young.
I got my hair cut today, and what happens is, you know, it's going gray, so the stuff at the end is less gray. So every time I get my hair cut and I lose like 2 inches of hair because I was shaggy, I just get more gray, you know,
but gray's your wisdom. That's what my mom always said.
Mm-hmm. I earned it.
But August 3rd, okay.
Yeah, please come join us.
Okay, awesome.
And I will follow up and see if Darling can come.
That'd be cute.
But Darling, you have to check out Darling's work. Darling doesn't like to use pronouns. If pronouns are necessary, Darling prefers Empress.
Empress. Okay, period. Got it.
Royalty.
Yes.
Royalty.
Yes.
And so tell me about and then you're an actor as well. Mm-hmm. So where is the boundary? Where is the crossfade between actor, dancer, organizer, and activist?
You know, I feel like it's wearing all the hats at all the same time. Like I've been trying to, as I've gotten older, I'm almost 30. So as I've gotten older, I've tried to choose projects that allow me to dip in all those things at once. So like I just finished Panther Women, and it was about the Black Panther women and like how gender and the push for liberation came together. And in there, I had to really dig into my organizing, doing like talk backs and connecting that work to the current moment. I got to choreograph for the stage reading, so I got to bring in dance. And then I also got to act. So I feel like I'm constantly trying to make all the hats be one big hat, right?
Yeah.
And not really distinguish.
Well, because you're bringing that sensibility into the approach and interaction. Mm-hmm. As a mover and an actor and an artist approaching a public health question, teaching moment, mm-hmm. and that's wonderful.
Thank you.
What's coming up for you? What are you working on?
What's coming up?
Or what are you excited about?
I'm excited for so much. So I'm most excited right now about my work with Soul. Soul is really a part of the recent election with Mayor Johnson. So really proud of that work, and we're proud of our initiatives that will get pushed forward as a result of him winning the election. And coming up now, we're trying to expand. So we were really hyper local before the pandemic, and now we're expanding out to statewide work. So we just recently helped pass a bill that ended cash bail in Illinois. So I'm super excited for the implementation of that, September 18th. So if you don't know, mark your calendars, come out, court watch. It's a great time. And then acting-wise, or dancing-wise, Creators Freak Out. We have our biggest performance coming up at the end of September with the Fly Honeys. So I'm super excited about that, right? They're amazing. They beat us for Chicago Best, and now we're performing with them. So it's really great.
And where's that going to be?
It's at Talia Hall.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I'm super excited.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I've been running with a lot of the Fly Honeys.
They're great, right?
Oh my gosh. I saw them at the Chopin Theater back when Ike Holter was doing the box office.
Come on, take us back.
Yeah. A total Chicago phenomena. I saw them at Lollapalooza last year. Mm-hmm. And just, if you don't know the Fly Honeys, it's just like sexy liberation.
It really is that.
Just
all body types.
Go.
Mm-hmm.
Go. You know, and that's the thing about nude bathing.
Okay.
People think, ew, nude bathers, bunch of perverts. No. Nude bathing, and I've never bathed nude, but nude bathing helps people accept their own bodies. Get over their own stupid hang-ups. Everybody's body is like a damn tree with fruit on it, you know?
Oh, that's a word, yes.
It's like, come on.
Yes.
We are so just body crazy. Mm-hmm. And we have a short life. We're all going to be old and wrinkly if we're lucky. Mm-hmm. And sagging. But anyways. And what else is going on with Soul? How can people support and get involved?
Oh,
donate?
wow. Yes. Okay. So to donate, please go to soulinchicago.org and become a donation member. For as little as $5 a month, you can contribute to our work moving to the next level. The money goes to supporting our organizers, creating content, etc. But if you're somebody who wants to get involved in a more deep way, please reach out to me directly or follow us on Instagram, see what we're doing next. Coming up in the next couple of months, we're going to have Soul Saturdays where we bring people together to talk about the issues that are happening in their community and figure out how to build power with their neighbors. Sometimes organizing can feel like this mystifying thing, but it's not. It's just having conversations one person at a time. So follow me at Akeisha. That's not my name on Instagram. It's just call me Keisha on Instagram. DM me and I get you connected.
There are so many amazing organizations on the south side of Chicago.
Totally.
I mean, Rage, Iman, Imagine Englewood. Mm-hmm. There are so many. And that's what the people in the rest of the country don't understand. There are heroes in these streets who put their life towards their community every day. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And they don't get on the news, and nobody knows what they do, and they don't care because that's not why they do it. And people don't understand that. But you know who does? Mayor Johnson.
Yeah, shout him out. Mm-hmm.
We got one of us in there.
Yeah.
Who understands. Ram and Lori, God bless them. We had to go from Daley to Johnson. It wasn't going to go straight. We had to get Ram in there. Then we had to get Lori in there. I think Lori was great considering she's a lawyer cop. And I think Lori did amazing things. And sure, she should have never put the bridges up. What the F? I don't know. That's a police mentality, not a people mentality. But she did a lot of good things. The Invest Southwest, nothing like that ever happened in the city before.
Yeah, that's true.
Giving real money, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to people.
Totally.
In the neighborhoods to create. In 10 years from now, we're going to have all these new things going on. Just like remember when Daley built up the Loop and put all that money in the loop into the theaters and all that. Lori has done that in the neighborhoods, but Mayor Johnson is going to look out for the people. It's not going to be easy, and I'm super impressed that he has not slipped up yet.
Yeah, I feel like it's because he's accountable to community. Like, he's built these strong relationships with organizations like Soul, like United Working Families, that keeps him accountable to the interests of the folks who voted for him.
Yeah.
And I think having that direct line to the mayor and setting up those true balances with the community helps him stay on track.
But eventually, I mean, you know, it's hard to be a politician.
I can imagine.
You know, but I'm very excited.
Same.
And we can't wait to have Mayor Johnson on the show. He was a frequent host and commentator here at WCPT.
Oh, was he really?
Before he was the mayor. So Mayor Johnson, I've been in touch with his press guy, and you know, we'll come to you. We'll do the show in your studio. Paul, we can do that, right? We have a few minutes left here.
Okay.
What are your thoughts about the afterlife?
The afterlife. Gosh.
If there is one.
I hope that there is, okay? So I grew up Christian. Did you grow up religious?
I grew up Catholic.
Okay, so you get it.
Yeah.
It's the classic way.
Oh, I was an altar boy, and I went to Notre Dame
Are you
for
like
college.
Catholic?
Catholic. Like
Period. Yes.
I went to a high school called Stanford Catholic High School.
Ooh.
And then I went to the University of Notre Dame. And now I'm like a born-again Buddhist, Hindu, I think that I actually a poly. I think that we are all of God.
Same. I think it's a classic like Catholic school. Then they get liberated art. But yeah, same. I think that everyone has the same desire, right, to have peace after this life is over. Because there's so little peace here. So when I imagine it, I just imagine it being the liberation we always wanted, honestly. But I think that my faith background as a Christian does play a lot into that. So, yeah, I imagine it being family. But I feel like the one I don't subscribe to anymore is the idea of a bad place. I don't think anybody's going to hell. Where I think we're all doing our best. And the ones that don't hopefully get another chance to do better, right? Because they were doing their best.
Heaven and hell are actually here on earth.
Come on. I think so, too.
And I believe that we are all part of a giant fire. And every now and then a wind will come and blow that fire, and a spark will leave the fire and land in a human body. And that candle then will stay lit until that body can no longer carry it, and then our spark will return to the great fire.
That's nice. Yeah.
And the fire that is you and is in me is the same fire.
Totally. If we all just believe that, could you imagine where we would be? If we're all just like we're the same fire, having different experiences.
Well, and the aliens are right now. They're going, yes,
that's the one.
They got
They're
it.
Closer.
Listen to these
Keep
two
it going.
over here. Yeah, and that's the beauty of life. It's like the more you figure it out, the quicker it goes.
Yeah.
You know, you flip the hourglass over, and in the beginning, you know, you're 5 and you're in the park and you're laying on the grass and you're just like, geez, I've been, you know, time just drips. You know, or you're in class and you're watching the clock tick. Every second feels like a minute because you got to get out of school.
Yes.
And it's just like, and then as you get older, the hourglass starts to widen.
Totally.
And the sand starts falling fast. Because a week in my life now, okay, a month of my life when I was 2 was 1/24th of my life, or about 4%.
That's amazing to think about.
A week of my life now is like 0.04%. So the older you get, the smaller a segment of time is as a proportion of your existence. So it just goes like that.
Totally. I feel like I'm at the point where it's starting to speed up for me too. You know, like in those late 20s, I'm like, oh, I'm on this path rushing towards a destination. And it's like, oh no, I've always been there. Life has always been the destination. Who knew?
Yeah. Yeah. I believe in a thing called synchrodestiny.
Okay, what's that?
It's when you meet somebody, like you and I have somehow connected here. We are on these blue microphones. And you change the trajectory of your life by meeting somebody. It's synchronous destiny.
Wow.
And I have so many friends and family. Well, family, you can't help it. But I have so many friends who meeting them has changed our lives.
Yeah.
And you go on to meet new people and you see the world in a different way. And we have these things happen to us and we take them for granted. And we should never take this gift for granted. And I'm just so happy that we've seen so much change in the last 5 years.
It's amazing, isn't it? Who would have thought?
I mean, really.
It's hard to predict, but here it just comes in.
And it's happening on so many intersectional fronts. So we have to keep on pushing. We have to keep on working and moving. Our day is coming. It's only a matter of time before the people with money that don't want to share it with other people won't be around anymore. And in 200 years, nobody will remember any of us.
It's true.
And these lives that we get all caught up in, we won't remember 99% of our lives. But I hope I'll remember this time that we spent together here.
Same.
So great to meet you.
You as well.
You are so lovely and cool.
Thank you.
Akeisha Lee, our guest here at Collaboraction Radio. Great to have you. We are here Saturdays at 4 o'clock. Live on the radio, in your car, in Chicago. But you can also get us at Apple Podcast, Spotify. Akeisha, where can people find you and follow you?
Yes, I'm on all of social media. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. So you can find me on Instagram at Just Call Me Keish. That's Keish. You can find me on Twitter at The Master. That's 2 E's in the. You can find me on TikTok at Akeisha Lee, AKEISHALEE. And on TikTok, I post a little bit of educational content. And then you can find me on Facebook too, but don't. That's more private. Never mind.
Don't. Collaboration Radio is supported by Social Innovation Group of Chicago, providing coaching, consulting, and training on the human side of enterprise, from nationally recognized work with collective impact groups in community to large system change in business and government, to coach leaders to transform their organization in pockets of excellence that are radically inclusive while driving breakthrough performance. Social Innovation Group. Go to www.drmarcusrobinson for more information. Collaboration Radio is sponsored by the Joseph and Bessie Feinberg Foundation, AV Chicago, and you too can become a sponsor or purchase an ad or be part of our weekly show and podcast. Just email radio@collaboraction.org to inquire, and be sure to check us out and follow us on all the social media platforms. We are a true Chicago ethno-diverse company working to use art to bring us, to remind us that we are each other. As the great Gwendolyn Brooks said, we are each other's business. We are each other's harvest. We are each other's magnitude of bond. And you know, it's amazing because actually she sounds so much like Mamie Till. Mamie Till has a speech that she actually did in an interview in NBC in the 80s that we used that verbatim interview to close out our Trial in the Delta. Have you heard of Trial in the Delta?
I've seen it even.
You saw it?
And I went to the talk back. It was incredible.
Oh, awesome. I don't know if you heard, I was in D.C. this week. We received an award from the American Bar Association.
Congratulations, truly. That was a credible play. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. And you can watch it on the Peacock, folks, and you should watch it because we've excavated the missing trial transcript of what happened in that courtroom in Tallahatchie County when R. Emmett was kidnapped and murdered and did not receive justice. But Emmett's smiling because, and you know, I met Wheeler Parker, his cousin, who went down there with him.
Oh, wow.
And this man is the most lovely, chillest, has no hatred. He said he didn't even cry at the funeral because he knew there was a bigger thing happening.
Yeah, it's transformational. It's powerful.
Emmett, Mamie changed the world. And we can too. We'll see you next week on Collaboraction Radio. Thank you, Keisha Lee, for joining us. And hey, you know, if you're listening to me right now, you will never be more alive than you are right now.
Come on.
So do something about it. See you next week.
Collaboraction Radio is sponsored